What do we mean by movement? How can we make something move? Well, we can't, but we have tricks up our sleeves to imply that something is actually moving. Or we use the illusion of the depth of space to imply that we could move into a composition. Or alternatively, we can use a line of sight to draw or move the viewer's eye through the composition. For fun, I want to show you some examples of optical illusions created with the same simple elements that we already know about, color and shape mainly. Like I said, we can't actually make movement with static elements, but let's explore some illusions of movement. In this first example, while I'm talking, just gaze at your screen. Let your eyes unfocus a little. Can you see how the diamond patterns begin to look rounder? Maybe like they are growing? Pretty cool, right? But I can assure you that there are only straight lines in this composition. The contrast of the diagonal along with the alternating stripes is mesmerizing, right? But not a single element is actually moving. Again, stare softly at the screen. What do you see? Does it look like the black blob in the middle is growing larger, swallowing up more and more of the little black dots? Those small dots seem to be swallowed up, don't they? One thing I think is interesting about this optical illusion is that it does not have the same effect in color, does it? Even though these two colors are opposing, just like the black and white, to me, there isn't the same amount of movement we saw in the previous version. What about you? Do you think there is more or less movement in this version? Next up, we have this illusion of a rotating motion, right? It looks as if the star is spinning in on itself, towards the center. Again, this is a JPEG. Totally static, nothing is actually moving. Do you notice how the circles have a white side and a black side? And how those sort of rotate? On the top left, the white is on the right. And on the bottom right, the white is on the left. Do you think this has something to do with the illusion? And for the grand finale in this demo, here is a work called Rotating Snakes. Absolutely mesmerizing, right? Again, nothing is actually moving. But because of the contrasting colors and the placement of the shapes, this artist was able to create the illusion of movement. For those of you who may now be feeling a little anxious about being able to create something like these, have no fear. These are only meant to inspire you. Remember that design and art is a practice. So if you liked this and you were inspired by these, I encourage you to get creative and start practicing.